playoff day, former NBA player Carlos Boozer saying that the Raptors are the dark horse of the playoffs. I'm not sure if he understands what that term means, but I want to know, what are the realistic expectations fans should have of the Raptors in the playoffs?
You want to go, Jonesy, or you want me to jump in?
I think we're going to say the same thing, but I'll start it. I don't know how you could call somebody a dark horse, Lindsay, when they're the defending champs. They have when you look at 7-1 in the bubble, that makes them 53-19, the best winning percentage ever in franchise history, with, as it was put to me by somebody on a national network who my brother said, the Raptors have that perfect combination, a chip on each shoulder. They have championship experience and people are disrespecting them. So I don't know if that's a dark horse. And with regard to your expectations, why wouldn't they expect to win? They've done it before. And this is where experience counts. Last year, they didn't quite know how to. They found out how to. Now they know what to expect.
I think, Lindsay, the only reason that people are saying dark horse is because there's still this ignorance or this lack of respect that is coming from a lot of folks south of the border. And I think it's an old and tired narrative that's now over a year old, that, oh, this team can't be that good, possibly. They can't possibly be this good without Kawhi Leonard, without Danny Green, without 40% of their starting lineup from last year. And I guess they've just ignored 72 regular season games, albeit interrupted by a 4.5-month pandemic before the restart. And I think they've ignored, as Jonesy said, that the way that this team carried over its success from, the first 64 games to the final 8 games, and they proved themselves in the face of numerous injuries to all of their key guys. All of their top 6 guys missed a minimum of 10 games this season. Some of them missed 20 plus, and yet they still roll out with one of the top defenses in the league, and they still finish the season with the second best record overall. And we're still kind of hearing this tired narrative of, oh yeah, but. Well, no, oh yeah, but they're still a pretty damn good team, and there's every reason for Raptor fans to believe that Toronto could come out of the East again. And once you get to the finals, all bets are off. It's
Lindsay,
it's anybody's game.
Let me put a bow on what Eric's saying.
Okay.
There are a lot of our colleagues south of the border that don't watch the Raptors. I'll be quite honest with you. They don't watch the games. They watch the Lakers. They watch the Clippers. They watch the Bucks. They watch all the teams. They watch New Orleans because Zion's playing. They watch Memphis because Ja's playing. And they don't watch the Raptors. And as Eric said, top 5 in man games lost to injury, but 3rd best record in the NBA. And everybody's now saying, wow, these guys are pretty good. Well, they have no choice but to watch them because they're stuck right in front of them all the time. Now, all of a sudden, people are noticing. And it's fine that they don't watch with the Raptors. Eric and I talk to those guys, and we know what it's like traveling with them. They just kind of go about their business. There's an old adage that says, toil in silence and let your success do the speaking. That's where the Raptors are.
Regular season basketball, it is one thing, but as we know, playoff mode is an entire different beast. When it comes to the players, is there anyone that you're going to be keeping an eye on to see their kind of development when it comes to playoffs or the impact they could have?
I think the one that I'm watching more than anybody, I don't know what Jonesy's going to say here, but OG Anunoby is kind of on my radar because he wasn't involved last year. And I don't know that he can step in and replicate or duplicate what Kawhi Leonard did, certainly not on the offensive end. But I think he's a hell of a defensive player. He's turned into a pretty darn good shooter for this team as well, and floor spacer overall, and another weapon that we're not really talking a whole lot about. You discuss this team right now, Lindsay, and of course you're mentioning Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, Fred VanVleet, and Serge Ibaka probably. And then, okay, we start talking about Norm's impact. Sort of lost in the shuffle is, oh yeah, there's this other guy in the starting lineup who has the body, he's got the frame, he's developed a better handle, he's got speed, he can rebound. He brings a lot to the table for the Raptors. And knowing that he wasn't a part of the championship run last year, I think he could be a major X factor in this year when we talk about the chemistry and cohesion and the carryover from last year. There's a guy that, again, wasn't part of it and now is. And I think he could be a real problem for a lot of teams.
I'll be watching Pascal, Lindsay. I like Eric's pick of OG, but I'll be watching Pascal because a lot of people figured with Kawhi gone, who's the guy that you're going to give the ball to get a bucket? Who's the guy that's going to have the ball to make a decision when needed? And we know it's going to be Pascal Siakam. He's been wonderful in the regular season. He's done it over the regular season. The next step for him now is to, and I think he's quite capable, is to show that he can do it in the playoffs when you see the same team for 10 days and they've scouted you and they know everything you do. That's where the next step comes for me. And again, I'm not questioning him. I think he's very capable. I think he can. I think he will do it. But I think that's another one of going back to where we started, people saying, wow, this guy's pretty good. Yeah, we know it. And if you'd been watching, you'd see it too.
This goes the series that they're in now with Brooklyn. It takes me to 6 years ago when Masai said those 2 words that resulted in a $25,000 fine, but it sure amped up the fans. When it comes to this series, is there going to be that passion as well? Or is it pretty much, do you think, cruise control to the next one when they take on the Nets?
I don't think it's cruise control ever in the playoffs. I mean, even a sweep, you look back in history, teams fight. The more desperate a team gets when they're down 2-0, 3-0, the harder they fight until they finally give up the ghost, in the 4th game, at some point. I don't think it's ever cruise control. I think they're going to have to work. I think this Nets team is hungry. They don't have all their players, their stars. I think they're really going to be something to be reckoned with next year when they get Durant and Irving back, and Karis LeVert's a very good third option. But I think the Raptors are going to have to work for this one, and they're okay with that, Lindsay. I don't think they want it any other way. I think they want to refine and consolidate and get that sharpness going forward. So I think it's going to be. It could be a short series, but I don't think it will be an easy series.
Yeah, and I would echo those sentiments as well. And I think, Lindsay, just the professionalism of this team, I don't think that there's a guy in the locker room that I can see over the course of this last year, let alone last number of years, that is going to walk out there publicly or privately and say, this is a cakewalk, we've got this. They seem to be a very professional team that carries that professional approach to every game, and they've got a job to do. And I think that they learned over the course of the long run to the finals last year and to the championship last year that it takes that hard work, and you can't take things for granted. Look what happened to them. I hate to bring it up, in game 1 against the Magic last year. All you need is that one game to give your opponent a little bit of confidence, that jolt of energy perhaps they're looking for, a little bit of momentum. So I think that they know that they've got to carry that approach and that professionalism, that focus and attention to every single game, no matter who the opponent is.